to play with that, because I don't know why it's not doing that.
Uh, you know what? This isn't gonna work, I don't think. Hold on, I gotta mute this one. Can you hear us still, Don?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. I've got it set up now, so it should not hopefully repeat back to you.
Okay.
But we'll see. Okay.
I just can't get my video to work yet, so figure it out later.
Oh, you know what? I just thought of something. So did everyone, well, no, first, I guess, well, Mr. Chairman, no.
Pull up. All right, I will call the meeting to order at 6:06. And I know we don't have any new agenda at the moment. Probably will be a fairly quick meeting today.
I think I saw the agenda was that was that last for on Gmail?
Yes, and also the minutes. Diane Ray had sent us the minutes, and you know what? I probably should have printed them, but she did send them, so I wonder if that's um. Well, let me just take a moment to pull those up here
Yeah,
because that's
okay.
important.
I have the meeting minutes here. I can print, I think.
Oh, perfect, okay. Um. Let's see, Diane Ray.
See if this will work.
And do you have the minutes done, or I could forward them to you so that at the top of your inbox? And you're muted, Don, in case you were saying something.
Yeah, go ahead and send them and I'll get them at the top, if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all,
Well,
so.
I can't print at the moment, so that's fine. But
I'm forwarding these to you.
Okay, I have them.
Okay, great, great.
the Don has the meeting minutes now.
Yeah.
Yes,
read through them. So. Well, so I motion to approve the meeting minutes of May 1st.
Second,
Second,
All those in favor?
I,
Thank
aye,
you. All right, so meeting minutes from last meeting are approved.
so that would be, let's see, just to be sure, you moved that. And then I seconded.
Correct.
Okay, motion passed, okay. Review any, oh, and you know what? This, the policy have to be written.
Oh, yeah, let me. I have it saved here.
I'll just switch the order in which this is occurring then.
The planning board meeting rules are posted in the meeting room. This is so everyone will understand that while the planning board meetings are public proceedings, the public has no right to participate unless the planning board allows it, or the meeting is scheduled as a public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak about a topic must request to be placed on the agenda 5 working days prior to the meeting day. The chairperson will allow 15 minutes for open discussion at the end of the planning board meeting. Anyone speaking to the board will do so in a civil tone. Yelling, swearing, or belittling, is not allowed. Anyone doing so will be asked to sit down as a warning. If order is not observed, the person will be asked to leave. If that person does not leave, law enforcement will be called to remove the person from the meeting and charges will be filed. Anyone speaking will represent themselves unless a written permission is given from a person wanted to be represented by someone else. All cell phones should be turned off or placed on silent. This policy was enacted at a regular, and duty called meetings starting in November of 2024. All right.
Okay, very good.
So today's so in the old business, what needs to be updated in the queue, junkyard
Well,
nuisance?
Just before we get to that,
Yeah.
as far as reviewing the CEO actions,
Oh,
I'm not as well acquainted
Oh,
with
yeah,
this
that's right.
binder.
yep.
And I was trying to figure out what this meant and I'll let you take a look at it because I was trying to decipher what was what here, or if this information was even current.
It may not
As
be.
opposed to, let's say, the mailbox or something, I
Yeah.
don't know. But I figured I'd show it to you. Try to figure that out.
Yeah, no, this is old, this is old.
Okay,
And with the resignation of the CEO, I don't know if we have any of that information yet. I didn't see anything in the mailbox when I was in
oh,
there.
you did check?
Yep.
That, okay, that, I didn't know where his mailbox was.
So,
Okay. All right, I'm just gonna take, recap what just happened, at the- Okay,
so one thing I do want to point out, I don't know if you have been made aware of it, we are on a spending freeze at the moment.
yes, I saw that.
So any requests to spend any money has to go to the selectmen first. And then whether we're public hearings, any of that stuff, we gotta run it by them first, so I just figured make that
why,
public
why are we on
knowledge.
why are they on a spending freeze? Do you know?
From what I was told, it was due to the uncertainties of the government being able to
Oh.
fund some of the towns.
I gotcha, yep,
With stuff that's happening, so,
got it, just curious.
yep. So let me do this here. So I know we were working on like the cluster housing ordinance,
Right.
that, hold on a second. I just lost my meeting minutes.
Oh, you want me to
There we go.
forward? Okay. Well, Mr. Chairman, I remember at the last meeting, what Diane's recommended was that we pause consideration of the cluster housing ordinance in order to better educate the town about what is cluster housing
Okay.
or even exploring the idea of calling this like an open space ordinance and things like that. So I'm just looking at the minutes from our last meeting to see what, if anything, was definitively decided.
I don't think it was, but that, I do remember discussing that. Yeah, yeah, or cluster housing ordinance, continue review and update. Review additional documents for consideration of repositioning this ordinance possibly as an open space ordinance. Working to have this ready for the fall is the goal, so we've got some time on that. So I know one of the next ones that we had talked about possibly doing was the junkyard nuisance ordinance.
Yes,
Uh, Let me,
About that, Mr. Chairman,
what's
is
that?
that if we pull that up now, we can kind of, at least as an initial thing, we could look at if it mentions any statutes. I know our new attorney doesn't like statutes, but at least it'll tell us if something's changed
Yep,
that we need to be mindful of.
let me see if I have a current one here.
Mhm.
I'm hoping I have a copy of like the original one, and I may not. I think it was considered an automobile graveyard nuisance ordinance, and then we are gonna change it to junkyard ordinance, which
Oh,
automotive junkyard, why do I have two? This. Yeah. June of 2018.
mhm.
Do you have a copy of it? I can
Is
send
this
you
on the drive?
It
or-
is.
Okay, I could log in on the drive. Let's see, I just have to make sure that I'm
I'll
on my,
find,
Have you been able, were you able to find it on the drive, Don?
well, you know what, the problem is I have a new computer and I'm trying to figure out, okay,
Okay,
Google
Uh,
Docs, right?
go to Google Drive,
and I
and
could,
then in there, you'll see a folder at the top that's named Town of Canton.
Okay. Um, do I have to log in?
You'll have to log into your Gmail account, yes.
Okay, got it.
But if I need to,
and Don, I just sent you the link that Mr. Chairman had sent me on February 6th to access it more easily.
Okay, let me try that. I'm learning. I get there. Well, here we go.
I feel like I remember working on this ordinance back then. And I've been on the board for so long
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's kind of like,
Before I got here.
yeah.
Okay, I've got it here. Okay, let's see. what am I looking up? The noise? No,
It's called automobile, comma junkyard.
I got it. There we go.
Okay.
November 21, 24. Okay,
What does it have for a date on it?
I think she's looking at this one, Mr. Chairman.
okay, this one of them has May 31st,
Oh,
19, and then one has huh?
Pick the May 31st one.
Okay,
August, the other one for some reason doesn't, hold on, I'm gonna
okay, I
try
got it.
it.
Town of Canton vote into their Trump to state regulations. Let's see what happens.
Oh, that's right. This is where the town took the statute.
Yeah,
And
just-
even the top part of it with the headings and
Yeah.
just adopted it. But we should actually check this statute to see if it's still around or
Yeah.
if it moved.
absolutely.
So let's see,
At the time,
this-
so
This
There's a
one
note.
is
Go ahead.
talking about auto graveyards. These are great junkyard. I think that needs to be junkyard ordinances, like, we're talking more of the yards and stuff too, right? I mean, just
yes,
appearance.
yeah,
Oh, this is like here, it says junkyard, automobile graveyards, automobile recycling, business poses potential risk to the environment. Well, automobile graveyard, recycling, highway, interstate, junkyard. Okay, I guess it has it in there down below, number 4, junkyard.
yeah. Junkyard.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And Mr. Chairman, when I pulled up the statute at the bottom, it will list like the last time the law changed.
okay,
And this says Public Law 2003, that this was amended, so that's good because it looks like well, in our ordinance, it says state amended 2003. So it seems like nothing's changed as far as the
Right.
state, well, at least for the purposes section. Now, the one thing we'd have to keep in mind though is if we look at the contents of this, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 statutes that are still active and not repealed under this chapter. So the
Okay.
first one we already checked, that's still good, 2003,
that should be the statute 3751.
3751, that's correct. And then 3752, let's see if they have anything that's,
Where do you
Yeah.
find this? The statutes, I
So-
see.
well, actually, what I'll do, Don, is what I did was I literally put like on Google, I put, but let me send you the link because that's the fastest way of doing it. I'm going to,
Oh, here it is, purpose.
let me send it to you. And well, I actually should send it to everybody. Robin McClintock, Tom Peters, Diane.
Where is she?
She's in Indiana right now.
Okay,
So let's see, I'm gonna put here automobile / junkyard statutes. And let me put the link right in here. So I'm sending that to all of you, so then what you can do is we go section by section. And it will give you'll see in brackets at the very end in lighter print. The public law year, the year that the public law was done.
Mhm.
So, and it gives the chapter of the public law, so if we start off at 1751, if you look at those sections, they end, the latest you'll see on this first section is 2003.
at the
Yep.
bottom.
Oh yeah, at the bottom, that's right, section history. So for this whole section, so we just go to the next one. And then the next one is 2005, so that would be a change. And you can drill down to see which one changed by looking up as you go up the page, and you can see what changed. And we see here that the section that changed had something to do with the automobile graveyard definition. Something there changed because on 1752 in the definitions.
Mhm.
So, so that's something to keep in mind. I don't know what that change was. I'd have to look,
I see, okay.
and then.
So the good thing is, looking at when we initiated the ordinance,
Mhm.
everything was up to date as of 2007 on our ordinance.
Okay, yeah,
So if we look through and see if there's anything that is, newer than 2007, then we may want to look at it.
okay, thank you. That's gonna save us. Cause I was focused on that first part, but you're absolutely right. So
So-
anything newer than 2007. Okay.
Then we have 3753,
Mm-hmm.
3754, and 54A. 2005.
Oh, I see where you get 2005, okay.
In 2005 for 3754, 3750. Why is it doing that? All right, I have a question.
Yeah,
Go to the next one.
yeah.
Literally just click the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at 54. Why did it go to 3754? Or I was on the previous page. 3754A would come before 3754.
Come after. Yeah, 754. So here you're at 3754. And then if you click next.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I wasn't looking there. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
no problem.
Okay.
Oh, okay, and then we see something's changed in section 3755 cap A. Because it says, and
2021.
something, 2021.
So how do you know what's changed? Is it the,
Well, what I do is I start at the very bottom, actually. The best way is there's a legal software program that you can compare changes
Right.
through the previous years, but the more manual way of doing it is, so you start off at the bottom of the section history,
okay,
and now I know, okay, 2021, I need to be on the lookout. So then as I scroll up, I'm seeing right here that subsection 3 says 2021 next to it. And then there might be others too, so let me just scroll as well. And I don't, it doesn't look like any of the other subsections were affected, but something. Oh, and actually, they even break it down to the subsections. So like if I really want to drill down, then I see right here that so it's subsection 3, subsection F. I should just say 3F. Okay. Is where there's a change has happened here.
okay,
So it says, except as provided in section 3754 cap A subsection 4, a vehicle may not be dismantled or stored within 300 feet of a well that serves as a public or private water supply, excluding a private well that serves only the automobile recycling business or the owner or operator's abutting residence. And that falls under the section starts off, an automobile recycling business licensed under this section must meet the following standards. So
okay.
that's new. So we might want to even, I don't know where the best place to make note of that is, but let's see.
So. Okay. I think I thought I saw another one that changed on that. Hold on. I may be wrong.
Oops, I closed the version where I wrote when the time, we called it at 6:06. You called it at 6:06, right? Okay, thank you. Okay, there we go. So we should take note
As
of,
provided in section 3754A subsection 4. But basically, this is, you can't have a dismantled automobile within 300 feet
Feet.
of somebody else's water supply. But it can be within 300 feet of your own water supply.
well, if,
Well, it says, well,
Right.
no, because it says serves as a public or private, so that your private well either.
But then after that,
This
it
part of the
says
motion is,
excluding a private well that serves
only
only
for the
the
full, yeah,
recycling business or the owner or operator's abutting address.
okay, yeah, you're right, I didn't read far enough.
So, okay, so
okay, that's clear, yeah.
let's make a note.
And what I did was I put a note right here on the minutes. I don't know if that may not be the best place, but at least for now,
yeah,
as I'm
that's
going
fine.
through. Cause I'm thinking, I don't wanna forget
Right,
what we're identifying, cause this is taking a little bit of effort on our parts to identify this.
yeah,
So-
absolutely. All right. So let's go to the next the next one, let's see. 3756,
And we see no
756.
change.
no change on that one.
2005.
3757, definitely no change on that one.
I don't know how you're seeing that, but I'm following you, I just don't know.
So Don, the first thing we look at, you know that link I sent with the statute?
Yeah, I've
At the
opened it,
very
minute,
bottom, it says section history. And
Oh.
what we're looking at is, yeah,
I got it.
okay.
So, yeah, if you
So
look at
the last time that was changed was in 2005.
which one are you on?
Let's see, what am I on here? Let me go. What are you on?
I'm on 3757.
Okay, let me go to 57. Okay, so it says, 2005 was the last time it was changed, or no?
I don't think you're on 3757.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm on the other one. If you looking at, okay, so it changed in 1989.
That's
Correct.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Mhm.
All right.
Okay,
So that's 3757. Is that on our thing? May not even 3755, 55A. Hold on, I'm just going down our ordinance 50s.
got it. You got 55, 55A,
And then, all right, so we're
56, 57.
37, 57. All right. 3758 was repealed, which is listed on our ordinance. 3758A.
Amended in 2005.
Okay, so we're good on that one. 3759 was repealed.
Okay, I don't even have on this one that you sent me, I don't even have a 3759. Far as I go is 3758A on
Yeah.
on the hours.
You mean on the ordinance?
And that
On
is
our-
37, I'm just,
Oh, yeah, and then the ordinance cuts out.
Yeah,
how did we do that? Because there's
And-
more. Hold on.
so we don't have a violation section on hours, is what I'm seeing, or, no. No
It goes,
rules. Oh, you know why?
Yeah.
There's nothing repealed, that's why. There's nothing there, right? Or is it?
there's another one that should have been in our ordinance that's not,
Yep,
but it only, and I think it's 3760.
yep, I think you're right. Yeah, relocation, removal, disposal, compensation, and condemnation.
And that was around in 2003. Meaning
Yep.
that was the last time it was changed, that this section changed. I mean, it even goes beyond before that, but that was the last time it changed. So fascinating, it didn't get in there. But
I wonder if it doesn't pertain. It says if the Department of Transportation determines that the topography of the land adjacent to any portion of a highway incorporated in the interstate or primary systems does not permit adequate screening under subsection whatever, or the adequate screening is not economically feasible, it may acquire by gift, purchase, or condemnation any interests in the property that are necessary to secure the relocation, removal, or disposal of the automobile graveyards or junkyards. I wonder if it,
I think you're right, Mr. Chairman, that doesn't apply to the work that the town would do anyway. It sets out the procedure.
yeah, I'm wondering if that's why it wasn't in there.
Mhm.
What's 37771?
Oh, that is in another
That's something different.
subchapter about scrap metal
Yeah,
processors.
no, okay. So I guess none
Mhm.
of this applies to us.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Mhm. So basically, if we do make a change, it would be to one
Yeah.
part,
Yeah,
and it would be really to protect the water of the towns, I mean, of
Right.
everybody involved, even whether they're on town water or their own water. I mean, well, I should say it protects other people
Mhm.
from any possible offenders here. But
So which one
so,
is, which one
this
you're
is,
looking at changing?
this would be 3755 dash cap A.
Okay, right
And
here.
yeah, and then but specifically looking at subsection 3 and then F about a vehicle may not be dismantled or stored within 300 feet of a well, that
Right.
part.
Yeah,
Although it also cross-references another statute, except as provided in section 3754 cap A subsection 4. So we should check out what that says too, which is, that's about public and private water supplies. A permit may not be granted for an automobile graveyard, junkyard, or automobile recycling business that handles junk, scrap metal vehicles, or other solid waste within 300 feet of a well that serves as a public or private water supply. And then it goes on beyond there, of course, of what it doesn't apply to. So, but it almost sounds a little repetitious to me. Oh, okay, this is maybe the other
It's-
part of it.
it's in there.
Automobile graveyards, junkyards, and automobile recycling business operating under the terms of permits issued prior to the effective date of this subsection and handling. That's it talks about the same, just as may continue to operate in those locations under the terms of those permits.
Okay,
So it kind of grandfathered in. And it says municipal officers or county commissioners may renew a permit allowing the continued handling of junk, scrap metal, vehicles, or other solid waste within 300 feet of a well serving as a public or private water supply, as long as no further encroachment toward the well occurs. The municipal officers or county commissioners may not renew a permit if there is substantial credible evidence that the permitted activities have caused contamination of the well. So that was already in place in 2005. And Mr. Chairman, what you're saying is in 2007 is the date of the ordinance. So therefore, that was what we're looking for. So, right?
no,
so you don't really have to change anything prior to 2007, is what you're saying?
as of writing this 2019, most recent amendment was 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look at what was changed
Mm-hmm.
on 3755 A, section 3, line F,
Yes.
that's in our ordinance now.
Okay,
It's already there. I don't know
Okay.
what changed about it, but if you go down. F. except as provided in subsection 3754-A. This is from our ordinance.
Right.
Section 4. A vehicle may not be dismantled or stored within 300 feet of a well that serves as public or private water supply, excluding a private well that serves only the automobile recycling business or the owner or operator's abutting residence.
Right,
It's
right.
It's the same, almost the same verbiage.
It
Yeah.
is, and so I think what the legislature did here is the legislature made sure that that language was also in section 3755 cap A under the section operation standards, repeating
Okay,
this earlier section, because that language in that section is still there too in the statute.
okay,
So it's just, I think, just repeating it, making sure it's clear.
okay. That works.
So I don't know if our board
We may-
wants to just make sure we copy the statute to a T here as far as that change is concerned, or what we want to do, but I think you've identified what's going on here.
I think in the future, when we do an ordinance and we're just following state statutes and all that stuff, we probably shouldn't put in there that as of writing this 2019, the most recent amendment was 2007. Only because right now,
Oh, yeah.
in order, not, technically nothing has changed in the ordinance, but to update it, this now needs to go to a public hearing and to the townspeople, because we're gonna change as of writing this, we're gonna change it to today. The most recent amendment was 2021.
And in that same section that you're reading, Mr. Chairman, it says, before enforcement, the CEO should verify that no additional amendments have been made by the state of Maine. So, and I guess the first line that you were reading also, Mr. Chairman, applies, it says, the town of Canton voted in 2018 to adopt the state regulations. So it seems like maybe no changes necessary, other than people have to just really be on their game to make sure they're looking this up, in other words.
Yeah,
I have a question.
yeah,
This really doesn't, okay, so should we develop a different ordinance that pertains to our town? I mean, like, when it says junkyard, it means like official junkyards, right? Like businesses that you can go get stuff. But do we have
Not
ordinance for the town that, for yards that need cleanup and things like that? Do we have that already? Or no? You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm asking?
yes,
Do you mean that there's a lot of homes, or not a lot, but there are some homes that have a bunch of junk in their yards visibly? Really bad. What is that
Well,
considered?
so I would say, in response, that if you look at the definition of junkyard, if you look at subsection.
Would it be part of this
C,
ordinance?
well, the part that says, that subsection C says older scrap copper, brass, rope, rags, batteries, paper trash, rubber debris, waste, and all scrap iron, steel, and other scrap ferrous or non-ferrous material. But when it says waste, that word waste seems like that could be a
That
catch-all.
could contain to anything wasteful.
Well, and that's is where we've had discussions about Oxford commas here, where it says waste and all scrap iron. Could someone try to say, oh, that's, I don't know, that's probably not a term of art, waste iron, right? It's just waste in general, I think, right?
I believe so.
So that would cover that.
Potentially, I'm gonna put right now on Google, I'm seeing if there's a term called, waste iron price per kilogram. So that is actually a phrase, because notice the list isn't over yet. When it gets to waste and all scrap iron, then it's another, then there's a comma, steel and other scrap, ferrous and non-ferrous material. So that word waste, at first I thought maybe this is all kinds of waste. But when I went on Google and I typed in the phrase waste iron, I'm seeing here, the first thing that pops up as a suggested search term, waste iron price per kilogram. So actually, let me see, if I put in quotes, let me really drill down, because if you put in a search engine a phrase and you put quotes in front and in the beginning and the end, it'll give you results that actually use that.
Okay,
Okay, use of waste iron as a partial replacement of sand. A new that's, and then there's an article from the NIH says that says a new concept of waste iron recycling for the enhancement. So actually, maybe someone could say, oh, look, my, because it doesn't say trash, right? I mean, like, if, like, literally, I'm talking about, like, if someone is taking what they put in their trash can in their kitchen or something, and if they said, oh, I'm just going to just leave this out here and it's going to just be a mountain of trash. I guess the issue we might encounter is, do we have something in this ordinance that says you can't do that?
yeah, this ordinance seems pretty straightforward, the way it's written, and to me, it's more for commercial. Meaning commercial, recycling and automobile recycling, or maybe any type of recycling is what it is. And I think we, as a town, need an ordinance. That's what I'm asking, if we have one, or one that we could develop or something, not just to clean up the town. I don't, like buildings falling in, tear them down. I don't know. Am I pushing too hard, or am I thinking crazy here?
No, I don't think
I
you're
don't think
crazy.
so. Well, I'm just reading through this to see if so like if you. I wanna say reading through this ordinance, even if it's not a business, if you had. Under the definition of automobile graveyard. It's automobile graveyard means a yard, field, or other outdoor area used to store 3 or more unregistered or uninspected motor vehicles.
We have some of that.
Right. You're right, as defined, and then it says what it is. That's considered an automobile graveyard, includes an area used for automobile dismantling, salvage, and recycling operations. Or, oh, sorry,
We have
or
that.
parts of the vehicle, or parts of the vehicle. So it sounds like just by definition only, even if you just had them on your property. It falls underneath this.
Well,
Someone
now,
was to come to you and say, okay, just out of curiosity, they have them on their property, but they're not doing the recycling and stuff, but you go to approach them, all they have to do is say, well, I'm using it as a recycling business. And he's legal to keep it there, right? Or she.
well, Mr. Chairman, we have a recycling and solid waste ordinance that I pulled up, and that was
Yeah.
something I know that
Mhm.
the board worked, I think it was adopted, right? Or
I think
what?
so.
I mean, but there's so if someone was saying that this was. Well, I think I'm answering the question that you posed, Don. I hope, but there's a so we have a whole ordinance called recycling and solid waste ordinance.
Okay,
And I'm wondering if that falls under that.
okay, I'll look through that. I'll research that. We don't need to spend the time on it now. I'll go ahead and research that now that, and stuff, and try to figure out. But I think what you're saying on this ordinance, what we're working on now, it's pretty well covered. It's pretty well mapped out by the state, what we have in ours.
Hmm.
Okay. Yes, I say we table this for now, this one for now,
Mhm.
just because basically we'd be changing it for. The last sentence in the top of it, and that's it. So I say we table it for now.
Okay.
You couldn't just change that without going and getting it approved and everything, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, that's a motion that
Yeah,
you,
I'm gonna motion that we table this, uh, the resubmission of the junkyard nuisance ordinance until a later time.
second, Mr. Chairman.
So that,
But I don't believe we've called I mean, I don't think the
All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Did you put something in there that you're gonna table it because of the minimal amount of changes it needs?
Yes,
Or something like, so that, we've looked at it and they know because of the cost, basically, right? Because it's gonna cost to, because
yes,
it's
yeah,
minimal
it's gonna
changes
cost.
and it's gonna cost money right now to do it,
Correct.
okay?
We also did get an email. That I'm gonna bring to everyone's attention,
Okay.
I think, let me see, I was involved in it. So. On the 15th of May, the Tonello Solar Project that wants to go in on the Canton Point Road.
Yes.
Believes that they are ready to submit their application. And it looks as though they had paid $500 for the previous application that was submitted before. I'm just reading here. Second. I'm reading through just all the notes to figure out.
oh,
So-
were we copied or you just received it?
I got
Do you
it,
know?
I got it from Diane. Diane forwarded it me from a guy named Steve,
Okay,
but it's stuff that kind of went back. We were on correspondence from this from
I
November.
have it. Are you looking for it?
No, Diane sent it to me this today.
Oh,
Um,
May 12th, okay. Okay, inbox 15.
basically, they want to know if. Or this is it says, "Hi Diane, I hope you're doing well. I'm following up on my voicemail message. We are near ready to submit our application for the Tonello Solar Project on Canton Point Road. I want to see if we email the application for completeness review and then send hard copies for the board's review once the application is deemed complete and ready for their review. Also, we paid $500 for the previous application that we submitted, so I was hoping we could just apply that fee to this application as the previous one did not go through a review. Just let me know how to proceed with that. I'll be out of the office next week. So it would be great if you could reach me before then. Thanks, Steve. And then Diane replied back. Uh. Me. Says, "Hi Steve, I'm out of the country, and I can't answer that question about the application fees. I'm copying the planning board chairman myself. Who may be able to help you in my absence." So I gotta find out if they will allow that to happen.
Mhm. I mean, it kind of seems fair, doesn't it?
I would think so.
well, Mr. Chairman, why was their previous why did we not
Yeah.
review the previous application?
I believe it had to do. I want to say it had to do with something about the ordinance.
Hmm,
But if it wasn't ever reviewed, nothing was ever done. Maybe their paperwork wasn't or something. Who knows? I don't know. Guess that's really gonna be up to the select board, isn't it?
I believe so, but
I see that, Mr. Chairman, in the February 2025 planning board agenda that the Tonello Solar Project was under the new business section.
Yeah, I saw that too,
Yeah.
but Is that the same project, the Tonella?
It's because we passed the moratorium.
Oh,
Originally, we had passed the moratorium January of 24. So and that got passed.
that Scott Mills did review their application and had comments to it. And then
So going in, it said continue the moratorium until fall. Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
I know in January 2024, she said, it is the intent of the town's governing body, the select board, to institute a moratorium on solar development for 180 days. In order
Right,
to let the town determine what regulations, if any, are in the town's best interest and to have the town's citizens vote on those regulations at our annual town meeting, typically mid-June. This is January 2 of last year that she wrote this. The vote on the moratorium is scheduled for January 11. If the moratorium passes on January 11, your application would be tabled until such time as the moratorium is lifted.
Mhm.
If the moratorium does not pass, your application would be reviewed at the January 18th planning board meeting. I realize this was not what you wanted to hear, but we, the planning board, wanted to communicate the timing, so we have a common understanding. I'm happy to try and address any questions you have, and you are welcome to attend the January 4 planning board meeting.
Yeah,
basically, it was our fault, I mean, not our fault, but because the moratorium was put in, it stopped them.
Yeah,
and then once we got the moratorium put in again, then we finalized our solar ordinance, which limited the size of the projects. And I'm wondering if now they just fall below the large.
Yep.
And that's why they're trying to get it to come through.
Yep.
So I will. Okay. Why did I just do this? I wanna.
remember also, there are, well, I don't know if this applies, because we're talking about the application. There are annual permit fees as well under the ordinance as well,
Mhm.
but this is different from an application fee.
Where's the final one? I want the final. Proposed.
Once the permit fee is collected at the town office, a solar permit will be issued and work can commence. If it's a large scale, the application fee is 2,500. If it's medium scale, it's 500.
So it'd be a medium scale.
Application fees will be made apparent in the town fee schedule. However, this ordinance recommends the below. Oh. When applications and the associated application fee are submitted to the town office, the planning board and code enforcement officer will commence a review within 30 days to determine, if it's complete.
Mhm.
Once an application is determined to be complete, the CEO and planning board will commence a review within 30 days for compliance with this ordinance and the related ordinances. Any non-compliance aspects will be noted in the application returned to the applicant for correction. There's the public hearing piece. So we need to figure out where we are in the timeline here of this.
So with the original part that they paid, the moratorium came into effect, which stopped it,
Right,
and then the ordinance came about, so they're ready, it looks like they're ready to submit their application, but they just basically want to know if the money that they already put down they can use for this application as opposed to the one that got rejected because of the size.
do we know, the ordinance recommended a fee, but it says the word recommends. It uses the word recommends, so do we know if the town fee schedule, if there was a town, did the town ever adopt a town fee schedule that actually went with that recommendation? In other words, we might even have to refund them the $500 or dollars or not.
Right, that I don't know, because
That's what I was just thinking, did they ever get refunded? Because if it never even went through, then why couldn't they use that money? If they didn't get refunded?
right,
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with your but I guess I'm coming at it from a little different angle, not a refund because of our inaction, although maybe it should have been refunded because they're gonna proceed anyway, but rather, do we need to refund it because the town never actually approved what that fee would be, other than what it quote unquote recommends?
I don't know.
Because it talks about the town fee schedule, so I'm just wondering, if, but. But we should have, actually, if you think about it, we should have refunded them. And then they would have paid again, 500, but if they want to apply it, that's just a question of figuring that out,
Yeah,
But did they actually submit their application to the town office now, the final?
they have not yet.
Oh,
He
okay,
wants to make sure if he can use the funds that were already submitted before they bring the application in.
but there's no other document that he submitted then for
No.
our consideration,
No, not yet.
okay?
okay, let me see if I understand this. So he did submit, but he was too big because of
I
the
believe-
moratorium. So it got shut down, so he's re-establishing everything, so I would assume that same money would count. It's the same application.
There. Yeah, they never retracted their application, is that right? They just made a change?
I. Even though they sent the application in, it was basically null and void because of it didn't meet the requirements.
Then I'd say yes, he could use, my personal thing would be, yeah.
The
But
moratorium hit them.
The moratorium and then the ordinance got passed and then they didn't fall within the ordinance. Um, and you sent that to the selectmen. I'll wait to hear back from them. The other one I want to do, I just want to reply back to him. Right, I'll wait to hear back from them on that part of it. So I've emailed the selectmen, I emailed Brian to see
Yeah.
if that is something that they would consider. I then emailed Steve and Diane to let them know that I am basically waiting to hear back from the selectmen.
We're asking the selectmen if they will be willing to accept the $500.
Yes, from the previous application towards the new one.
I see.
Yep. So we will see how that goes. And I said, other than that, here, I don't need that. Say, I don't have anything else on today's agenda. You guys have anything you guys want to add?
No. No, I'm good.
Hmm. No,
Okay. Well, then I will motion that we adjourn at 7:08.
Second,
All right, all those in favor?
I,
oh, wait.
What's that? Yes,
Okay,
7:08. We don't have anyone here for public comment. I don't believe there's anybody watching.
No.
no,
no, and I was wondering if the prompt would pop up here. If they did, I think it would.
It would.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
So you move to adjourn, done, second, and the motion passed. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, great.
when's our next
7:08.
meeting? What's the date of our next meeting? In
Uh,
June,
we will be in June at that point.
June 5th?
Yes.
Okay. Boy, it's a long month, an extra week in this. Wow.
I know.
Now, when does the turn, oh, I should end, we're all done?
Yep, we can.
Okay, so let me end the meeting.